This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Wednesday, February 12th. I'm here with Al, Brandon, and Lindsay. Let's get right to it.
Let's get to it, baby.
Yes? All right. Just when you thought the Jussie Smollett mess was over, think again. He's facing 6 brand new felony charges related to the infamous police report he filed over a year ago. Remember, Jussie said he was the victim of an outrageous hate crime. So why the new charges? Well, the prosecutor says it's because of the extensive nature of the allegedly false police reports and all the wasted resources. Jussie has always denied making it up. But has the law finally caught up with him? What do y'all think about this Jussie Smollett case? As Dave Chappelle said.
Look, one thing I've learned on this show is that there are 2 different justice systems or juicy systems in this. But so, okay, did he do it? Probably. He probably did do it. But what can you prove, Al? We keep seeing it over and over again. Now, remember, they said there was text message. None of the text messages implicate him. Remember, he said that he paid money, that check over to the brothers. That was for personal training. There's no video surveillance. What do you have on this guy?
Speaking of those 2 brothers, they are expected to testify against him in court. So that's going to be a sloppy mess. They're going to say that it was a hoax. That's reportedly what's happening.
That seems like a smoking gun.
He's also facing a civil suit that's upwards of $500,000. So even if he does get off on these charges, he still has a lot of money to pay back if the city wins that. And then he also could face 1 to 5 years in prison if this is considered a felony. So this is not really that light for him. He has a lot to worry about financially and if he's going to prison.
I don't know.
With those 2 witnesses on the stand pointing out that's the guy that did the hoax.
Yeah, he told us to do this.
Where were they last time?
Well, they probably didn't. Kim Foxx dismissed all the charges. Remember, 16 charges were dropped by the prosecution.
All right.
So, guys, write us in how you feel about the Jussie Smollett case. I know we talked a lot about it a million years ago, but we're back. So let's talk about it some more. Well, the results are in from the latest election 2020. That's right. Yesterday's primary in New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders won, capturing about 26% of the vote. Mayor Pete came in a close second. Amy Klobuchar surged to finish 3rd. Thank you. Meantime, Elizabeth Warren came in 4th, and former VP Biden fell to a 5th place finish. Following the results, presidential contenders Andrew Yang and Michael Bennet, who I didn't know was still in, both dropped out of the race. Now, a lot of people are saying this is a 2-person race between Pete and Bernie, and many are wondering, is Biden done, or can he pull out a victory in the next primary race in South Carolina?
Is he done? He got an 8. That's not a good score in the dunk contest. Yeah, that's not good.
I will say this, if you don't know, Iowa and New Hampshire are predominantly white, so most people are waiting for South Carolina.
Who didn't know that?
I'm just letting our audience know. South Carolina is where the black voters really come into play. Bloomberg's waiting for it. Biden says he's going to get big in South Carolina. Is he out?
But what is he basing this off of? Because
that's a good question.
Right, he keeps saying that he has all the black vote and the Obama momentum, but really the polls show that, I think it's a new Gallup poll that came out, that he had 52% support in the beginning of January. Now he has 26% among black voters. And I think that Biden has a lot of questions to answer, which we've discussed on the show in the past, that he's just avoiding and just depending on resting on his laurels.
Is he taking the Obama shadow and being, I'm Obama, so black people will love me? Is that what he's sort of doing?
I mean, I think that he expects people, he has name recognition to know what he's doing, but a lot of people are just not going to go behind it so blindly. A lot of people are intelligent voters, and they see that if you've lost 2 primaries and
the momentum.
I was going to say a lot more people are just more educated voters than we were even 8 years ago. How many people? I mean, we talk about the primaries now. We talk about
midterms.
Midterms was the biggest turnout ever, and I don't think maybe 8 years ago people just like Biden. I know that name. I don't know anybody else. Klobuchar. What's that? Now people know the candidates, and Biden hasn't really stood out.
But when you talk about the black vote, who else are they going to vote for?
Bloomberg, which Henry Louis Gates says.
It's not going to be Bloomberg.
It will be. Henry Louis
Gates
Gates says because of stop and frisk, there's an issue, but they will rather go to Michael Bloomberg than Mayor Pete.
Even after these leaked audio tapes.
Yes.
Yeah,
even after the audio.
Are you guys just skipping Bernie Sanders?
That's what I'm
that's who they would vote for.
AOC
Bloomberg, audio came out about Bloomberg saying that he thinks that white people get arrested too little and black people get, too much.
So you still going to vote for him?
No, I never said I was voting for Bloomberg, but I'm saying that I don't think that Bloomberg has the black vote, especially because now, like you said, with social media, we have so much access to information. That old interview is now all over the place, and people are like, okay, stop and frisk is more harmful than we talked about. We know that Khalif Browder killed himself, committed suicide because he was a victim of stop and frisk, put in prison for 3 years with no conviction, and then committed suicide. So this is not just issues that we can just let go.
And that's a national name we know. Think about how many people know just personally.
Right.
People that just disappeared because they had half a bag of marijuana.
I would say Bernie Sanders too. Not only has the black vote, but the youth vote, and it could be a sea change if it works out for him. But please, we really appreciate you guys writing us in and saying XOOX just says Biden thinks black people are just going to vote for him because, which is laughable. I think he thinks Obama, like the reign of Obama leans on him, but I don't think it does anymore. So we'll be interested to see what you think. Terrifying moments, big change here for some kids on a school bus. Let's take a look. The video shows students in Ohio, good Lord, being flung around. Oh my gosh, some hitting the roof of the bus after it crashed into another car and tipped over on its side. 8 students and the driver were taken to the hospital, but were not seriously hurt. The crash happened in December, but the video was just released by the Ohio Department of Public Safety. It raises the question, which we don't understand, why don't school buses have seatbelts like every other vehicle? Well, according to the National Highway Safety Transportation Administration, you ready for this? The cost of adding seatbelts to school buses outweighs any benefits.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I'm just going to leave that there to simmer for a second because that's crazy.
Well,
I don't know what to say. It was so honest. I was like, wow, y'all just said it.
And I was wondering, I'm like, I wore a seatbelt every time I was on the school bus, but there are 6 states that require it.
Of course you did, Lindsay.
I mean,
Lindsay was the only kid wearing a seatbelt. She's like, you know Lindsay's lunch was packed perfectly.
I'm by the exact rules. Listen, but there's only 6 states in the country that do this, so they want to make it a federal law, and I don't understand why we're putting monetary gain over like children's safety. It doesn't make sense.
Because this is America. That's what it's all about.
I know, but kids are the future. Like, come on, you're not going to.
After that video, do you think? I think with that video, it might help visually see what could happen without it, though. I mean, I thought this was bad, and then they fly into the ceiling. I mean, that's horrific.
If you're running for office for any seat, isn't the whole thing to get the parental demographic? If you come in and say the first thing I'm going to do on my first day is make sure that your kids are belted into a school bus, that would help. I can't believe even if you didn't care, I would think you'd just do this just for your own gain.
And the numbers are there. Like 124 people a year die because of school transportation deaths.
Wow.
And that's 1,200 people in about the last 10 years. So there are people dying because they're not belted up or because they're in an accident.
They're kids. Wouldn't you prioritize that?
We should ban the cartoon Magic School Bus.
Oh, Mrs. Frizzle taught me about the respiratory system.
They're not
We're not banning any of that. No. If you could, would you want the chance to interact with a dead relative in virtual reality? This story has us arguing in a good way. Check this out. A woman in South Korea got the chance to meet with her deceased 7-year-old daughter. She passed away back in 2016. The mom wore a VR headset with touch-sensitive gloves and audio. So she was able to hold conversations, touch, and play with her little girl. You can hear the mom sobbing during the encounter. And at one point, the daughter reassures her mother she is no longer in pain. Now, all this was done for a TV show, yes, but many think it was, but many think it could help grieving people. Would you want?
Oh, do many people? How many of those people have degrees in psychology? I don't think we know the long-term effects of these. We're just doing stuff. As a human race, we're just like a monkey with a flamethrower. We just have this technology, but our brains are not prepared for all this stuff that we can do yet. And we don't think about the long-term effects of how this could affect somebody 10, 20 years down the line when you're trying to get closure on the depth.
Empirical evidence says that traumatized people, like soldiers, going over and over in detail, their trauma can suddenly take the power away. So we do have evidence that going back to what happened and seeing it and having closure can help. How could this possibly hurt someone?
Right, but this is for a TV show. Who's controlling that kid's avatar, right? This is emotional manipulation. Like, who is going to be in there hacking that kid's avatar?
Do you think she cares? She gets to see her daughter again.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, like he's saying, there's no long-term effect studies on that. If somebody's controlling it,
we haven't seen this before.
Exactly. So you never know who's going to be.
I would rather try this than
said to her mom, "It's all okay." What if it wasn't okay?
Who cares? She doesn't know. There won't be an answer. Why not give the mom some closure?
No, you have to life is how life works.
I disagree.
Look at old photos, but that's just weird.
Lindsay, when people go to a medium, who's to say that person really has some sort of skills where they can connect to the dead?
It's just closure. That's a good point.
I don't know if it's how is it closure if you're now talking to a dead relative?
Yeah.
Because you can
and
say, "Are
somebody's
you
making
okay?
up
Are
what
you
she's saying?
Well, what are they gonna program them to say?
But don't you understand that not hearing that from that person will leave a scab that's open for the rest of their life? And if they can close that wound, it could be a beautiful, magical way of therapy for people.
I don't know if that. First of all, I don't know if that. If I want my likeness. First of all, we're also not bringing into no different than Prince being forced to perform at the Super Bowl after his likeness was shown at the Super Bowl that I was at. That there was a lot of fallout. You still have rights about your likeness being used after you are dead.
That's her mother. The family can say,
that little
I
girl
want that.
still has her right
She's
to have
a
her
minor.
likeness used.
I understand, but the adult in the room can say, as a family member, I do want this. I approve of that. If Prince's family said, I
She
approve
does
of that,
not
you would
lose
have.
her right to her likeness being displayed on television like we just showed.
TV, but what if it was just something? It was a form of. It was a
So
form
what
of
if they
therapy.
brought your likeness back, Brandon, and had it saying something you wouldn't agree
But
with?
my mom, if I died out of the abrupt, like, just think of Kobe's wife. You don't think Kobe's wife would want to talk to Gigi and Kobe?
One more time.
I don't know, but I would like to have a psychologist or a professional there to do that with them rather
Obviously,
than just
agreed.
willing.
Agreed.
So what is there going to be a one-on-one? How many psychologists are there?
Hey, this is brand new. It could be an actual thing that turns out to be
I don't know if this is a good idea.
All right, well, you tell us what you think. Whew! DBL, we're live, and coming up, we're showing you how to make, oh my gosh, this is so good, Red Lobster's
You told me about
mouth-watering
this.
cheddar bay biscuits in today's Copycat Kitchen. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Should polygamy be legalized? Utah is considering it, and you're weighing in your comments coming up next.
This February, ask the one you love to be mine and get away to a Sandals Resorts luxury included Caribbean vacation. Watch Daily Blast Live every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblastlive.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night romantic escape for two. The winner will be announced on DBL February 26th. What better way to say be
Hi there, DBL Nation. Happy Wednesday. Kelly Schubert here with the DBL digital team. They're chatting a lot over there, and I want to know what they're chatting about. Hey, guys.
What if it actually leads her to a happy
What
life?
if she wants to go into that
This is
virtual
all what
reality every
ifs.
second?
This is what ifs. We're not psychologists.
And we are still talking about the
Guess what?
VR,
I'd
the
rather
virtual
see if it's
reality.
better than cancel it.
No, I'd rather people look at photographs.
I think that's what people said before VR was even invented. I think VR coming through is going to actually help people grieve. What if you could say goodbye to the person you never ever got to say goodbye to, or say the
It's
one
not a
last
real person.
thing?
You're not saying it. They're not going to hear
It doesn't matter psychologically. It doesn't matter. It matters to make that.
It also psychologically could really mess you up.
Or it could really help.
Right. So
That's
we
a
don't
big
know.
or.
That's an or.
I don't know.
Maybe there was. Maybe there was.
It's a TV show.
What if your doctor said this pill could really help you or it could really mess you up?
How many times have you heard that on like show? Oh, this could give you cancer or stomach pain. or
No, they
nausea.
do studies for years to cut down so you don't have that conversation
No,
with
I
your
said
patient.
I'm not
about
saying
their
throw this out. I'm
psychology.
saying let's have some
I know,
study
but
to see
you
if
think-
maybe this is something that can get people over depression clinically of grief.
I think Dr. Drew would love to use something like this on this show.
I'd love to.
Listen, Ray's
I'd
vibe
like to
said
get
if
his
you don't want to
opinion
use
on
it,
this.
don't
Yeah.
use it. It's that simple. And Al and I won't be using
But they're
it.
talking to people that are in grief.
Tell me in
If you're
10 years if you're not
state of
using it.
I won't. I really
Tell me in
won't.
10
It
years.
might be
Are you
people
going to find you in 10 years that, yo, I'm not
We
using
better
it?
be friends. Also, people thought the iPad was stupid, and now everyone thinks everything.
And
is
iPad's not
stupid.
connecting you to
Right.
people that have passed on.
That's a beautiful thing.
You're comparing this to the iPad.
I'm saying it's new technology, and people
Yeah,
get
come
scared
on,
of it.
man.
The iPad
She's
wasn't
literally
new technology, just a
sobbing,
bigger
grabbing
phone.
She's
Her
sobbing
daughter
because she's
is
getting
saying things that
over
her daughter didn't
something.
actually say.
No, because she's sobbing because she's
I think
feeling.
it's weird that the daughter talks.
Yeah,
I do
somebody's
find that
programming
weird
what the
because
daughter said. Who's the
Yeah.
person?
And what if-
I agree with you on that.
Think about
I don't
the
like
said,
that
it's
part.
okay, Mom.
The selfish implications. If I was a terrible father,
agree
didn't
with you
talk to
on
my
that
kids
part.
for
That's
45
the
years and
weird
then I
part.
passed
Yeah,
away,
that's the weird part.
and then had my avatar, it had them say, hey, you were a great dad to make me feel better, even though you weren't. You don't know, maybe it's not okay. You can't program people's words to fill some kind of weird narrative that you want. You don't know what happened. No one does besides those two people. And that experience of them
Then when I tell
is
you when
genuine.
someone dies and I tell you I'm sure they're not in pain anymore, isn't that the exact same thing?
Who is someone? Which someone
If I
are we
say
talking
if someone
about?
I know died of cancer, I'm like, at least they're not in pain.
Yes, that's a fact that we can all
Right,
say.
so why can't that little girl say that?
But yes, all right. And we also don't know that. We also don't know that.
Get the violin out.
Stand by, here we go.
Oh, hectic conversation. I
When
would
you're
think.
Jake, can you feel things? Then I win the argument.
I didn't say that. Sit up and that's. All right, welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host. It's been almost a century since polygamy was outlawed in the Mormon state of Utah. Well, now a state lawmaker is pushing a bill to end potential jail time for these families, making it, quote, an infraction, not a felony, for people like Cody Brown and his sister wives who I interviewed. But some fear this change would mask a number of abusive situations. DBL, should polygamy be legal?
Okay, Barb from Facebook says, well, seeing how my monogamous marriage ended up in shambles, who am I to judge how you choose lovers? You get the point.
Hey, Barb.
Okay,
Nice, Barb.
Listen, I'm all about to each their own, but I really think that a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of documentaries about this, and I know they could be one-sided sometimes, but they say that, you know, making this legal could enable abusers. And so just because of that one stance, I would just say I'm not sure about this.
All right.
Strong take.
I know. Because I really believe in everybody doing what
I'm
they
not
want.
sure. What do y'all think?
Good answer. Good
Way
answer.
to pass
Good
that
answer. Minnie from Facebook says, no, this is sin, no matter how you look at it. Minnie, if we're going to play that card, I hope you had a ring on your finger before you lost your virginity, because premarital sex is a sin as well. But I think of this as one of those situations where, here we go again, trying to tell people what to do with their lives. If you want to love however many people you want to love, and you're getting actually married to those people, and you're happy.
Brandon, that's not what we're talking about. I'm all for, and I'll get to my question, I'm all for adults doing whatever you want to do. Trust me, I am very libertarian when it comes to that. My issue is that when these people get married, children are the product of these unions, and then these people never live in downtown Manhattan. These people live off in the cut. It's usually one dude with that's an older, strange-looking man with 4 or 5 women that then have a bunch of little girls running around there, and then we start to see documentaries about children being abused because they're off in some city that's got 11 people in it.
That's a specific take on one type of person.
It happens over and over again. Why do you think they outlawed it, Tori?
What about polyamorous relationships? 3 people that love each other want to get married.
They
They're
don't
not in
get
some
married. Those are relationships. Those people do not get married.
Why?
They are just in a polyamorous.
What if they want to get married?
They can't. It's illegal
Right,
for
why
this
can't it be
reason.
legal? Why?
Because kids were getting molested, Tori. That's why. You keep asking. I keep saying.
Because you're prejudiced against one type of people.
Yes, I am prejudiced against kids being assaulted.
Of course, but
yes,
there are
I am.
other relationships in which kids aren't involved. In which
Yes,
3
there
people
are,
love
but
each
the
other.
reason this was so prevalent that they had to make laws. They didn't just make laws because they felt they were bored that day. They made laws because they had documented stuff.
And laws change.
I ran out of words.
Good ending.
Well-rounded. Ended it on a bang.
Good ending and solid argument. Solid argument. Well, DBL, we want to know what you think. This is a hard topic to talk about, but we do talk about polyamorous relationships.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Of course you are. We know that. But why, if
What
they're
was that?
No, I meant you've always said that.
You guys make an announcement on the show.
I simply meant.
Where's my camera?
I simply meant you have been always for that. What I have to say is, do we step on people's freedom of religion that is in the First Amendment? And this is a religious issue to some people.
Yeah, but it devolves into something other than
fair.
religion. That's the problem.
All
Everything starts with something good.
All right, well, let's. This show always stays good. Coming up on DBL America, we can't get enough of cheddar-baked biscuits, but you don't have to go to Red Lobster to get them because we've got the recipe next.
Every black person trying to act like they're not excited about it.
In Copycat.
February is Black History Month, and DBL is honoring Black leaders who paved a way for future generations of Americans. Today, we honor Bessie Coleman. She's the first Black woman to become a licensed pilot. She dreamed of flying after hearing wild tales from soldiers who served in the First World War. Bessie learned to fly in just 7 months and later received an international pilot's license. Her story continues to inspire people to soar to new heights.
Bessie Coleman.
We're live.
Okay, so someone wrote in and says it worked for Demi Moore in Ghost. And I'm not trying to bring that up as a joke, but she did have closure after getting to say goodbye.
But no one programmed him. First of all, I can't
Okay, sorry, bad analogy.
Come on,
I was
Win an
trying.
Oscar at least.
Avatar people were blue walking around the earth. Should I say that that's next too? What the heck?
I think it would be. I think I'd love to see my grandma and grandpa one more time and say goodbye.
Of course you would, but it's like every dynamic
Yeah, you don't have to do
interaction you
it.
have is. But I don't know if it's mentally.
Can you ban it?
Yeah, I don't know if you should do that.
But you don't know. That's the problem. You should get a doctor.
Well, that's the whole point of our DBL takes, okay?
Okay,
That's
sorry.
right.
What's the choice to do it for?
Right.
What if you got something of your ex that you guys weren't on good terms? They died or whatever, and now you're trying to make up for your own feelings with your ex.
That was
who
my
didn't
thinking.
hate
It's
you.
like they're always gonna say it was
Thank you,
okay. I
Dre.
still love you, but maybe it wasn't.
So specific about exes. That's when it gets real tricky. Gets real tricky.
It's a Tuesday morning and you meet someone.
Doesn't it still feel like a Black Mirror episode? Like they're gonna live inside of the virtual
Black Mirror
reality.
is what's happening in the world. That's why it's so scary.
It was called the San. It was called
That's all you gotta say.
San
Thank you.
Junipero.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm with.
to add.
Like I said, Kobe's wife. Kobe's wife would love this right now.
You don't know that.
Yes, it would. It would help her get over the fact that she
can't
broke
say
me
that.
down.
Yeah.
Partially Kobe's wife's choice. She could do this if she wants or not.
But we can't leave a patient up to make their own choices, especially when they're still
When they're
probably in a
grieving,
state
exactly.
of extreme
But I like
shock
what you
and
said.
grief.
You
I
make
like
the
what
best
you
choices
said.
when you're in
There should be-
disarray?
There should be some
I don't
sort of
think it's our job to
psychiatrist
make
right
sure
there.
people make
Grieve
good
well,
choices all the time.
Oh, I thought that was me.
Solid.
Live and let live. Someone wants to do it, do it.
If it helps
Y'all ready for some
That's what the whole point of life is about.
If this is like illegal or ban it,
I don't know about illegal, but I wouldn't.
creating a virtual reality of a deceased loved one.
What does that mean?
There's no different than like
3, 2.
Welcome back to DBL. What's better than a dozen roses for Valentine's Day? A dozen Cheddar Bay biscuits from Red Lobster. Huh? People are so in love with these biscuits, they're actually ordering heart-shaped boxes of them. But who wants to deal with the drive and the lines? Homemade gifts are better anyway. So we are teaming up with Grubhub to help you recreate Red Lobster's biscuits, which you guys asked for in the special edition of Copycat Kitchen. All right, today we're making the famous Red Lobster's Cheddar Bay biscuits. Now, to get started, you're gonna need flour, buttermilk, butter, sugar, baking powder, garlic powder, and salt. Cayenne pepper is optional, and of course, lots and lots of sharp cheddar cheese, baby. Next, line a baking sheet with parchment paper and set it aside. Next, you're gonna mix your flour, baking powder, salt, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and sugar all together in a bowl. In another bowl, whisk together your buttermilk and your butter. Pour the buttermilk and butter over your flour mixture and stir it up. Don't forget the best part, the cheese. Now you scoop the mixture onto a baking sheet. Next, you want to put your biscuits in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. And for a little Tory extra, mix together some melted butter, some parsley, and some garlic powder. Then brush on top for a little meow. All right, now it's time to put my cooking skills to the test. Can my homemade biscuits pass as Red Lobster's famous Cheddar Bay biscuit? Put your hand out.
Okay.
Here you go. And as much as you
Ooh,
want.
they're warm.
Yeah. Okay, this is column A.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, you like that one. Here's this other one. Little, like an oaky smell, little vanilla. Which one is the real Cheddar Bay biscuits and which one is the Copycat Kitchen?
Wow. After all the times of doing this, I can't tell.
Oh.
I can't tell. You did a good job.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say this one's the real one.
Column B is the real one. Okay,
Yeah.
that's Jeff's choice. Good clean palette, and we're going in.
I smell garlic.
Little garlic. Hard to tell.
Not enough garlic. A is Red Lobster. B is Copycat.
Ooh, very aggressive in your answer. All right, thank you, B. Lund.
Like butter, baby.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
I really can't tell.
Yeah!
I think it's B though.
So you think B is the real one? Okay. So far we have Jeff and Erica thought this was the real one. Brandon thought A was the real one. And the answer is... B is the real one!
A was a good copycat
It was. So there you have it.
It was. That was hard.
Right? Find our copycat recipe at dailyblastlive.com. Now, if you're feeling extra lazy, Erica's just going to leave, you can get Red Lobster's biscuits delivered to your doorstep thanks to Grubhub. It's easy to do. Just download the Grubhub app to your smartphone. You don't even have to change out of your pajamas. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by... Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty Blast. Today, we're talking another makeup mistake that most of you are actually doing. It is the nastiest one of all, if you ask me. Yes, my friend, it's using an old, nasty, dirty butt beauty blender. These are terrible for you. Now, they're not always terrible, so let's break it down real quick. You can use beauty blenders, friends. Now, you can use them brand new. They're great that way. Get them a little wet, they help blend out all that full coverage makeup, and it's seamless. Perfect, keep them moving. You can also use beauty blenders if you're washing them occasionally. These are great. They're a great help when you wash them because they're keeping everything sanitary. Now you can buy a liquid cleanser or you can buy the hard cleanser to actually keep these guys nice and clean, and it'll make a world of difference. But the last thing that I want to see you do, my friend, ooh, don't make Jory for the sleigh mad. The last thing that I want to see you do is put this nasty beauty blender right back in your beauty bag and just let it sit there for 2 more weeks until you put on that full coverage makeup again. Whew, you're looking at a makeup artist's nightmare at that point, my friends, because these guys are just a sponge at the end of the day. These are collecting and harvesting bacteria that can be super harmful to your skin. So you know that last time that you broke out, you know the last time that your skin felt kind of weird and it stung a little bit, you know that last time that your makeup just didn't turn out right and it had that murky little brown tint to it? It's not because your makeup's bad, it's not because you have bad skincare, you might check out the skincare videos before, and it's not because like you're just a bad person or anything, it's because you have this nasty, dirty wop beauty blender in your bag and you're not cleaning it or taking care of yourself. So with that being said, I have 2 things that might help you. Back to square one, clean your beauty blender. That is gonna be the first and only thing that you can really do to help yourself. And the second one is, you can just use disposable sponges instead, guys. Alcone wedges are a great alternative to beauty blenders and you can throw them out and keep them moving and they're super cheap. Now, for more Beauty Blasts, make sure you're checking me out at Jeray for the Slay or comment down below for what you want to see on the next Beauty Blast. We'll see you guys next time.
It's true, the presidential race is at the top of the ticket, but there are other, some would say far more important local races that need your vote. Let's connect the dots. First up, County Commission here in Mecklenburg and surrounding counties. These are the folks who make the big decisions about your kid's school, the health department, even your favorite park. Next, the governor's race. Democrats, you've got to decide if you're going to stick with Roy Cooper. Republicans, who do you want in the governor's mansion instead? And the U.S. Senate race. Incumbent Tom Tillis is the odds-on favorite in the primary, but his big challenge will likely come in the general election. There are 5 Democrats to choose from in the primary. Whoever wins, this Senate race will likely be one of the biggest, most expensive races in the country come fall. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Today's Sandals word of the day is boardwalk.
I thought it was Calypso. Well, welcome back to DBL. We have to give a big DBL shout out to Siva, the standard poodle. The incredibly well-groomed 3-year-old pooch took home the title for Best in Show at the Westminster Dog Show. I watched both days. Here she is in all of her glory. Check out all of the awards. She did kill it. I also want to say that people think that Daniel, the golden retriever, was robbed. He was an excellent specimen and adorable, and he's never won. A golden's never won. All right, no one's interested. We'll see you at same time, same place tomorrow.